Book Summary: The Book Club for Troublesome Women, a novel by Marie Bostwick. 1. Introduction: A picture-perfect lie, set in the turbulent cultural landscape of 1963 America. The Book Club for Troublesome Women begins with Margaret Ryan, a seemingly content housewife in Concordia, Northern Virginia. To outsiders, Margaret has it all: a loyal husband, 3 healthy children, a house in a pristine suburb, and the full package of post-war prosperity. She drives a station wagon, attends neighborhood coffee gatherings, and has just received a subscription to A Woman's Place, a magazine filled with glossy articles about the joys of domesticity and the latest in kitchen design. Yet something gnaws at Margaret. A quiet discontent brews beneath the surface of perfectly folded laundry and perfectly prepared meatloaf. She wonders if this really is all there is to a woman's life. 2. Enter Charlotte Gustafson, catalyst of change. Everything begins to shift when Charlotte Gustafson moves into the neighborhood. Sophisticated, single, and unapologetically independent, Charlotte is unlike anyone Margaret has ever known. She smokes in public, wears trousers, and has opinions that challenge the staid values of Concordia. Charlotte doesn't seem to care what anyone thinks, and Margaret finds herself both fascinated and intimidated. Craving a reason to spend more time with Charlotte, Margaret impulsively proposes starting a book club. She invites 2 other local women, Bitsy Abernathy, a warm-hearted gossip with social ambitions and a deeply hidden sadness, and Viv Kalb, a sarcastic and cynical housewife from Brooklyn who's not afraid to voice uncomfortable truths. Together, these 4 women, so different in background, temperament, worldview, become the founding members of an informal gathering that will come to mean much more than books. 3. The Bettys are born. From books to bonds, their first book is Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique, a bold and groundbreaking exploration of the problem that has no name, the stifling dissatisfaction many women experience in their roles as wives and mothers. The reaction among the group is electric. For Margaret, the book names what she hadn't dared to articulate. For Charlotte, it validates her lifestyle. Bitsy and Viv each find themselves challenged in unexpected ways. They name themselves the Bettys after Friedan, and what begins as a casual meeting quickly evolves into a safe haven for radical honesty. They discuss not only books but also their fears, regrets, marriages, ambitions, and the roles they were told to play. As they dig deeper into Friedan's work and other books, including To Kill a Mockingbird and The Group, the women begin reevaluating their own lives. Into their daily routines, seeding bold actions and unexpected consequences. 4. Cracks in the suburban dream. Each woman faces a personal reckoning. Margaret questions her marriage and her unfulfilled dream of studying art. When she begins painting again, she rediscovers joy, and tension brews between her and her husband, Tom, who can't comprehend her growing independence. Charlotte, fiercely private, is revealed to be carrying the weight of grief over a child she lost and a love she left behind. Her aloofness masks vulnerability, and through the Bettys she learns to trust again. Bitsy, outwardly cheerful and conventional, struggles with infertility and a deep fear of being abandoned by her social circle. She begins to confront the shallow foundation of her marriage and her addiction to appearances. Viv hides a painful secret. Her husband is emotionally abusive. Her wit masks years of trauma, and with the support of the Bettys, she begins to take steps toward reclaiming her autonomy. As they learn more about each other, they also begin to act on their growing awareness of social injustice, sexism, and the power structures that have kept them silent. Margaret attends a civil rights lecture that ignites her conscience. Charlotte helps organize a reading group at a local black church. Viv volunteers at a legal aid clinic. Even Bitsy begins advocating for change at her son's school. 5. Trials, triumphs, and turning points. Not everyone in Concordia is pleased. Rumors swirl about the troublesome women, and some husbands grow uneasy. Margaret and Tom's relationship reaches a breaking point when she refuses to host a dinner party for his boss. Charlotte is confronted by a man from her past, forcing her to re-examine old wounds. Bitsy faces a miscarriage that shatters her sense of identity. Viv's husband finally lashes out physically, prompting her to make a dangerous yet necessary choice. But through every trial, the Bettys hold fast. Their loyalty, fierce debates, and shared vulnerability become the very fabric of their lives. They make each other brave. 6. The book club goes public. As their courage grows, the Bettys decide to open the book club to other women. What began as an intimate circle became a quiet revolution. The group now includes secretaries, teachers, single mothers, and grandmothers. They read Maya Angelou, James Baldwin, and Rachel Carson. They learn about reproductive rights, the Equal Pay Act, and the March on Washington. They begin seeing themselves not as wives and mothers alone, but as citizens, thinkers, and change makers. The group gains press attention after a feature runs in the Washington Star. Margaret, once the most cautious of them all, gives a small but powerful quote, "Reading opened my eyes. Talking about it opened my heart." Their husbands are forced to reckon with the transformation. While some marriages suffer, others, like Margaret's, begin to mend on new, healthier ground, with honest communication and mutual respect. 7. One pivotal year. A Nation and Four Women evolve. The novel is richly set against the backdrop of the early 1960s, incorporating real events such as the publication of The Feminine Mystique, JFK's assassination, the Civil Rights Movement, and the rise of second-wave feminism. These historical threads lend urgency and depth to the story as the Bettys navigate a rapidly changing world. Each character has her arc. Margaret holds her first solo art exhibit by the end of the year, with Tom and her children in the audience. She has not abandoned her family but redefined her role within it. Charlotte reopens her heart to love, reconciles with the past, and finds purpose in mentoring younger women. Bitsy adopts a child and starts a community garden, finding new meaning in motherhood and civic engagement. Viv files for divorce, finds a job as a librarian, and begins a quiet, contented life with her dog and stacks of books. Conclusion: Sisterhood and the Seeds of Change. The book club for Troublesome Women ends with a picnic in spring 1964, where the expanded group celebrates their first anniversary. There are speeches, laughter, and tears. The original Bettys toast each other and marvel at how far they've come, from isolated dissatisfaction to empowered sisterhood. Marie Bostwick's novel is both nostalgic and timely, reflecting on a generation of women who began to challenge the myths they were handed and dared to build something new. It is a heartfelt tribute to the kind of deep female friendships that spark revolutions, personal and political. Themes explored: the myth of the ideal 1960s housewife, feminism and the power of books to change minds, intersection of private and public life during a social revolution, found family and the transformative strength of female friendship, awakening to one's own voice and value. Final thought: this novel is perfect for readers who love a character-driven narrative with historical resonance, fans of lessons in chemistry, and anyone who's ever been transformed by a book, and the people who read it with them.